WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. Today I have a single cask for Germany from Dingle. This is the very first, cognac cask finish, single cask, 8-year-old, 59.5% ABV, single malt from Dingle for Kirsch import. So, Whiskybase number 242603. The recommended retail price is €154.90, which sounds like a lot. Oh, look, there's a nice little card I almost forgot. Let's take this as well. But actually, it's been the same price now for all three single casks for Germany. We started off with a Pedro Jimenez, a PX cask, with 59.7% ABV, also 8 years of age, $154.90. Then we went over to a port single cask for Kirsch, 2014 to 2022, also 59.6%. And now we have a single cask from 2015, but it was bottled 2023, so it exactly 8 years and 3 days, I think, with 59.5. So this was bottled on the 25th of September 2023. It was distilled on the 22nd of September 2015. So as I said, 8 years and 3 days of age. So 154 sounds like a lot. So the first stores have it for $149.90. You notice a little bit of a price battle going on in Germany, especially with the online retailers. We as consumers now have more and more the ability not just to buy at a local dealer, but to actually go online, use different search engines, compare prices, and buy at the cheapest place. And so if this is something that doesn't sell out immediately, then maybe the cheaper price is going to be, for a shop like them, the best price. I have no idea how many bottles. Isn't that a shame? It's a single cask, and they don't tell us. Is it 100 bottles, 200 bottles, 300 bottles? I would like to know that. It's not that difficult to, at least in the press release, say, hey, there was 244 bottles. I understand that it's not on the label because often after you fill up the bottles, you know how many bottles you have. All right, so what am I going to compare it to? I'm sorry, but I'm going to pull out something called the Red Earl. It's a independent bottler. They are the Kinsale Spirits, and this is cask strength 63.48% bourbon, sherry, and a finish in Rioja casks. So why did I pick this? I didn't have much cask strength whiskey behind me at the moment from Ireland. So I wanted something finished, and I thought, why not? All right, now I'm going to read a tiny little bit about what's on the card here. The box was not made especially for this. This was the label that was made. Everything else exactly the same. Thank you very much for putting non-chilled filtered and natural color or no color added here on the box. I think that's great, but this little card is just for this bottling. So this single cask release, finished in a cognac cask, specially selected by master distiller Graham Coull, has been exclusively bottled for Kirsch import in Germany. Now, Graham came, I think, 2018. Could have been 17. I think it was 18. My question is, this was made 2015. Who was the master distiller at Dingle? Who was responsible for the whiskey back then? If someone can help me with that, that'd be great. As no two casks are the same, every single cask whiskey from Dingle Distillery is unique and singular expression which can never be replicated. The influence of the cognac cask is reflected in the color. Very nice color, I must admit. Has a little bit of brownish hue here going on as well. In the aroma, character, and above all, taste of the single malt Irish whiskey. Now, we're coming to the point that is maybe very, very important for me and for you. I'm not a lover of cognac. I do like a good Armagnac every once in a while, but it's brandy. It's just distilled wine. distilled wine in the region of cognac according to the rules of cognac. But if you made exactly the same product outside of France, it would be called brandy. So they put this in a brandy cask. Just put it in a perspective here. All right. As I said, I'm not the biggest fan of brandy. I love the Pedro Jimenez cask, the first one they did. I was not a great fan of the port cask they did, the second one. And this one is even less of a favorite in my book. On the nose, I get a little bit of a over fermented fruit salad. I get the typical Hawaiian fruit moments here of Dingle, but I get burnt caramel and I get a lot of alcohol. Even though it's 8 years of age, I don't think this is the most mature whiskey I've ever had from them in the glass, at least according to the flavor profile. Now, I'm going to pose a very, very difficult question. Imagine you're at the distillery in Dingle and you have 20 casks in front of you and you're going to actually say, I'm going to finish 5 of these. Of the 20 casks, which 5 do you pick to be finished? Do you pick your best casks in the development and the nose and the taste and the flavor profile? Or do you pick your weakest casks to be finished? Now, this is what actually happened. Someone, Graham Coull, picked this to be finished. Now, we have no idea how long it was finished. Also, the information, how long it was finished, how many bottles we have, is nowhere to be found, at least in my sources that I have online. Now, I know someone who works there. I know Graham a little bit. I could ask, but normally we don't have those connections. I try to research my videos as if I was a normal person. What resources do I have at hand? What's in the bottle? What's in the box? What can I find on the website? What can I find in a shop? If I Google, what can I find? What information is out there? That's what I know. That's what you could know. No one else can know it. Not everyone has the telephone number of someone who works at the distillery and they can go ask them. So, I think that they did not pick the best casks, but they picked more of the weaker casks to be finished. This is, in my personal opinion, just mine, not the strongest, not the best, not the most perfect single cask edition Dingle has ever put on the market. Now, I know that I myself, I've had cask shares. I've 14, 15 casks at the moment in Germany, in Ireland, in Scotland, and I've received the nice little cask samples, and it's not developing like I wanted to. I'll put a finish and let's go for it. And that's what I have the feeling was done here. I'm even going to go so far as to say I'm not really sure if the cuts were perfect on this. We have a little bit of the feints, we have a little bit of the tails, the heads, the tails, the hearts. I'm going to say even that heart is a little bit expanded in both directions more than it could and should have been. Might be wrong, but that's what my first impression of this whiskey is. It's not where it could and not where it should be. All right, let's try it. Cheers. I'm going to put a little bit of water in half of this. It just doesn't do it for me, especially the aftertaste. On the card, I have the official tasting notes. I'm going to read them, and then I'm going to say what I think about that. On the nose, you'll find notes of freshly cut flowers, marmalade, plump raisins, and fruitcake. Wow, maybe the marmalade, depends on what flavor. This single cask release delights the taste buds with chewy toffee, toasted coconut, red berry fruits, and hints of ginger and licorice. None of those things I got. And on finishing, the sweet toffee and nutty flavors melt away to reveal a warm, comforting spice. Sounds good, doesn't it? I mean, somebody's getting paid for good tasting notes here. Now, I put water in this. I diluted this down a little bit. I'm going to go from the 59.5 down to about 53, 52%. I get a little bit more of a flowery moment with water. I get a little bit of that burnt caramel. I did not say toffee. I said burnt caramel on purpose. And on the palate, as I said, yeah, it just doesn't. I love a whiskey that goes up and surprises me, and this just kind of goes, heartburn, a little bit of a, not the Kentucky hug, but a little bit of the acid reflux that happens because of the whiskey. Wow, this is a C minus whiskey in my book. On a bad day, I'd give it a D plus. This is not really, really what I want. But as I said, please take it under the understanding I am not a big cognac fan. I do get the cognac. I get a little bit too much cognac. This has a definite cognac, not just flavor, but a predominant moment going on in here. And I love a good bourbon matured Hawaiian punch in your face Dingle single malt flavor profile that I just hardly, it's so covered, it's so overpowered with everything else going on here that I'm just not digging it. Value for money, 154 euros 90. Definitely a D minus. It's an 8-year-old whiskey. That's almost 20 euros per year. I know it is cask strength. I know it's the first of the cognac finishes that Dingle has ever done, but yet. Putting this into some type of historical timeline, the distillery Dingle was opened 2012. At that time, there were 4 distilleries: Middleton, Bushmills, Cooley, and the old mill. What was it called? Wow, Jason, what can I remember this? Kilbeggan. Wow, Jason. That Cooley had just recently purchased and put it back into, just commissioned it. New Middleton Distillery, Bushmills, Cooley, Kilbeggan, number 5, Dingle. At the time of this recording, which is basically December 2023, there are now over 50. There are 50 distilleries actually producing whiskey in Ireland. Well, they might just be producing new make. They haven't done the 3 years yet, but they are producing whiskey, all right? Irish whiskey, which will turn into Irish whiskey. 50. There have been 45 new distilleries since Dingle opened up. Dingles were the pioneers, were the forefront, were at the vanguard of what was happening in Irish whiskey, and I really do think they're doing good things there. Yet, this bottle is just not mine. It's okay. It's a single cask. I did a bottle share. It's gone. Got a bottle left over. Put it in the auction, or someone will buy it off of me, and everyone will be happy. So that's the way things times go. I love the Pedro Jimenez. I love the PX. PX makes everything better. The port, meh. The cognac, nah. Question of the day: what is your favorite single malt from Ireland, from Scotland, from Europe, from America that uses cognac casks? Is it a lambe? Is it something else that you like that has a good cognac finish? I don't know. Just to put it in perspective, the Red Earl I like better. I would much rather have this in my glass than this. And if you've ever had this is a blended whiskey. This is a lot of grain, probably 80%, 70% grain, 30% malt. It's not bad. This just isn't my wheelhouse. Sorry, guys. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, and telling others about WhiskyJason over here in Germany, tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. What is your favorite cognac finished product? Single malt. Bye-bye.